Today we are solving one of the problem from Bluebeam. So this is the question. See, first we'll read out the question. You have an electric car whose speed is derived from the battery percentage. There will be one electric car that speed will be derived from the battery percentage. So the battery percentage is denoted by an integer value n. See, the battery percentage is denoted by an integer value n. So, and the speed is the sum of all the factors of the battery percentage including 1. And its speed will be the sum of the factors of the battery percentage including 1. So, our task is to find and return an integer value which is representing the speed of the car. First we'll see how to solve this and what's the logic behind this and what's the input we should take. Everything we'll see one by one. Okay. Then this is the input format. An integer value n representing the battery percentage of the car. Okay. We have, see here you saw, right, an integer value n which will represent the battery percentage of the car. Now I will take n. So what n will represent? N means battery percentage. Battery percentage of the car. Okay. Okay, then what we have? Then this is the input. Input we are taking. Next, what is the output we are getting? We are getting the output which will return an integer value representing the speed of the car. This output we are getting. See. So we'll take one input and we'll decide and we'll see the logic also. Okay. See. Now you understood the problem statement, right? What they are giving? They are giving on electric car the car's battery percentage which will be given as integer n. So the speed of the car we should find out. Now how should we find out that speed of the car? Is like it will be calculated by using sum of all the factors of the n, right? So how to calculate sum of the factors? We'll see. Okay. Now we have to find the factors of the given number n. This given number n, we have to find the sum of factors. This will be question mark. Like we have to find it out. Okay. Okay. Now how to find it out? Now before this, you should know what do you mean by factors? What does this factors will do? What does this factors? You should know this. I will tell you what you mean by factors means. A factor is a number which will divide another number completely. So there will be no remainder. It will divide the number completely. The remainder will be 0, right? That will be we are calling as factors. See, for example, I will take one input. So now we'll take n as 12. Okay. Now n is 12. Now what are its factors? Its factors are 1, 2, 3, then 4, then we have 6, then 12. How I said like these are its factors? Because 1 divides 12 completely, right? 1 divides 12 completely and remainder will be 0. 2 6 are 12. Remainder is 0. This is also 12 factor. 3 also its factor. 3 4s are 12. 4 also its factor. Same. 4 3s are 12. 6 is also factor. 12 is also factor. Now how can we write this? Implement logic in programming, in Python programming is, we'll see one by one. See how we should do is 12 modulus means it will give remainder, right? Is equals to 12. Then what will be the remainder? Remainder will be 0, right? So we should get remainder 0. Remainder, then we are saying these are the factors of that element. Okay. Now same 12 modulus 2 is equals to 6. 2 6 are 12, right? Then what will be the remainder? Remainder is 0. These are also, 2 is also 12's factor. Then we have 3. 3 I wrote, right? 3 is equals to how much? 4, right? Then what will be the remainder? 3 fours are 12. Remainder is again 0. And also these 3 also 12 factor. Then 12 modulus 4. How much? 4 3 is a 12, right? Then what will be the remainder? Remainder will be 0. Okay. Then what we have? Then we have 12 modulus 6. I wrote it over here, right? I am explaining that itself. 2 is a 12. Then remainder will be 0. Next we have, at last we have 12. 12 modulus 12 will be 1. Quotient will be 1. Then remainder what we are getting? 0. Okay. Now what we have to do? They gave to find the speed. We have to sum of all the factors will be the speed, right? So now we have to add. What we have to add? This 1 plus 2. What and all its factors? No, we have to add that. 2 is also factors. Then 3 is also factor. Then plus 4. We are finding sum. Like its factors sum. Okay. Then 4 after that 6 is also its 12th factor. Then 12 we have. What's the value we are getting? That will be the speed. So how much we'll get? 28, right? Then so this will be the speed. Speed of the car is how much? Speed of the car will be 28. You understood, ah? Because first we took an integer value as input. Then we are finding sum of the factors. How to find the sum of factors? Like, see, if the number divides one more number completely, then that will be its factor. So we took 12 as input. Then these are its factors because these numbers divides 12 completely. The remainder will be 0. So we traced it. And also at last we are we are finding the sum by adding all that factors. Okay. Then we got the 20 is as sum. That will be the speed of the car. See. This one we understood, right? Now how can we implement this in code? See. Let's see how to implement this. First what we have to do? We have to take one input, right? How can we take input? They said an integer value n representing the battery percentage of the car. So we need n. They gave we have to take n input. We need integer value. You know that in Python there will be default input taken will be string. So what we have to do? We have to typecast it. I took integer, right? The input will be typecasted into int. Next what we have to do is we have to read the battery percentage. So we have to read the battery percentage. See, next what we have to do is we have to read the battery percentage. So next we have to take the battery percentage from the user. User will give some input like here. N is equals to, he will give 12, whatever he wants, he will give. After that what we have to do? We have to initialize one variable. Speed is equals to 0. Because we need to calculate speed, right? So we have to initialize to calculate that. I need one variable. So I took one variable, then I initialized with 0. Okay, this is done. So initially the sum of the factors is 0. After that we have to find it out. Okay. So next will be we have to take one loop to traverse the elements like from 1 to n plus 1. Where till n we need to find how many factors the number have. So we need one for loop. For I took one I variable. For I in range, we need to specify the range, right? The range will be starting from 1. It will go until n plus 1 because we need till n, right? So we have to take n plus 1 in Python. It will check every number from 1 to n. So see, if n is equals to, I will first explain you this, then will trace this program. Okay. So see, if the user will give n is equals to 12 like this, then what it will do? It will go in, this loop you saw, right? At first speed will be 0. After that, in loop it will traverse, it will check every number from 1. It will check the numbers from 1 to 12. So 1 to 12 it will check. Why? this, see this loop, it will start from 1 and it will go till n plus 1. Okay, next what we have to do, this will check whether each number is factor or not. We need to check factor, right? Then how can we check factor? See, if n modulus I, if it is equals to 0, this is the logic we are checking. See, here we wrote, right? So here we are checking whether I is a factor like or not. So this is the modulus operator. So it gives the remainder after division. So if the remainder is 0, then I is a factor. Okay. Then what we have to do? Next we have to add speed is equals to speed plus I. See, then at last we need to print speed, right? So this will be the logic of this. Okay. You understood, right? How it will be, like what we have to do, how we have to take. We at last we need to print speed. So what it will do is, first it will take input, then it will, we are initialized with 0, then the for loop will run like from 1 to n plus 1. If that n we, if I is, if the I divides n properly, like if the remainder is 0, then it will add that to speed. Like first, at first speed will be 0, right? Then speed will be added this I value. Then at last we are printing speed. We will run this code. See, we will got 28 as output, right? Yes, this is about this.